calling the internet police.
Welcome to the Game Case, a show for, well, anyone that plays World of Warcraft. The show rife with ramblings, tips, tricks, and goings-on in WoW. Here's your host, Chris Case.
Well, hello. Hi, howdy, and welcome to episode 17 of the Game Case. I am Chris, also known as Cuddlès, a Brewmaster monk on Airy Peak in the Convert to Raid Guild. This week, I'm going to run down my week in WoW, give you the latest update on the race to World's First, run down some Blizzard news, and talk to you a little bit about loyalty to a raid team. Now, this week in WoW was a blast, as always, for me. Fun times with both of my raid teams, Rubber Chicken Coalition and Bacon and Kegs. We are both now 5 of 13 in Hellfire Citadel and amped to attack Gorefiend this week. My Hunter is now at level 100 and already at 634 eye level. So here's to hoping that he'll be hopping into raid shortly. Those baleful tokens from the shipyard missions, along with some of the time walking dungeons that were up last weekend, were clutch in getting him geared up very quickly. Now, speaking of time walking, it was Wrath dungeon time walking last weekend. I was able to hop in with members of both my raid teams to run some of these classic dungeons, and as a WoD baby, it was definitely really cool listening to everyone reminisce about their times in these dungeons back when they were current. I even got to take my baby Hunter in there and wipe the whole raid with Barrage. So now I feel like a real hunter. Best part about that one was, I'm used to every fight that I've seen so far there's like a gate or a door or something that separates you. You know, you go into the boss encounter and something pops up. And you can't get out of the boss encounter. Probably so, I'm presuming, so that people can't run out to reset him. And just stuff like that. Well, in several of this is not the case in the Wrath dungeons. So, there's one case where the boss was turned around towards some stairs. And I could see ads past her, but I was like, oh, we can't get to those. That's fine. Barrage. One shot from Barrage, got out there, grabbed some ads, pulled them all in. The funny thing was, nobody knew why. And I feel bad because poor Sly, one of the members of Bacon and Kegs, was in that raid with me, and she was apologizing. She thought that she had pulled them. I felt so bad I didn't say anything. So I kind of hung Sly out to dry there. But I did later on post a video and admit to my Hunter wrongdoing. And come on, guys, there's a Hunter. You didn't expect it was him? Really? So out of all of that, it was a lot of fun seeing everyone in both my raid teams and just in the general CTR community. You're welcome for hanging you out to dry, Sly. She's sitting in the chat room here. I did fess up to it though, so you know, there's that. It was great seeing everybody in the community, even after folks got their 5 time walking dungeons for the quest, the little homeless orc that was hanging out by your garrison. Once people got that, it was great seeing them still willing to go back out there and run those dungeons, help other people through them, and help other folks get their quests done. And super cool rewards for that. You got a you got the current raid token, because I'm going to mess that up trying to say it. You got the current raid token. You also got a piece of equipment from normal Hellfire Citadel. So unfortunately for me, both of the things that dropped, well, I take that back. On my Hunter, I got an upgrade because he's never been in there. On my Monk, nothing. It was a pair of pants off the first boss that weren't an upgrade for me when I went into normal. But still really cool rewards, and even without the rewards, I think I would have been out there doing it just because it's super fun to see some of that old content and to be scaled down, and it was a whole lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next time walking weekend. So this weekend, don't forget, it is a Battleground Weekend, so it's 200% bonus. I believe it's Honor or Valor. Excuse me, I don't PvP. You get 200% bonus whatever you get in a PG. So you'll definitely see Cuddlès and iPull, my hunter, out there doing some BGs this weekend. Should be a whole lot of fun. It's gonna be one of those fun weekends like Children's Week, where the people that don't do PvP go in and do PvP, and it makes the PvP people mad that the PvE people are, and everybody's gonna have a horrible time, but everybody's gonna have a great time at the same time, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It's always interesting when they try to incentivize PvP, or they have an event that's focused that you have to go in, like Children's Week, where you have to go in. The PvP folks don't like us being in there, and it's not something that we necessarily want to or are good at doing. So it takes the experience down for everyone. But I'm gonna go in there and have some fun this weekend. Now that I have a tune that has some real CC and might actually be good at PvP, which I'm sure I won't be. But look for that on my Twitch channel. I'm sure I'll be streaming some of that at some point this weekend. Now, you know, we're coming up on the summer here, and this is traditionally a very slow part of the news cycle for just about everything, but especially for Blizzard games. So while we're sneaking up on that lull, there's actually been a fair amount of stuff coming out of Blizz. Like, nothing groundbreaking, nothing really huge and massive. There are, of course, you know, it's BG week this weekend, so go out there, do some capture the flag, have some fun. Outside of that, they did release some news about the WoW token, a little bit more about the kind of the restrictions and some of the stuff that's tied to that. Let's take a look at that. This was a blog post from the 23rd, which was yesterday. As many players are aware, there are certain limits in place regarding how many WoW tokens can be purchased per Battle.net account, both from the in-game shop and through the auction house. Today, we'd like to provide a quick update on the current limits to help you better plan your token purchases. A maximum of 10 tokens per week may be purchased for real money from the in-game shop to be sold on the auction house for gold. A maximum of 36 tokens every 24 months may be purchased for gold via the auction house to be used for game time. Players may only have one type of token in their inventory at one time. If any character on a Battle.net account is currently holding a token purchased from the in-game shop, that player will not be able to purchase a token from the auction house. Likewise, if any character is holding a token purchased from the auction house, that player will not be able to purchase a token from the in-game shop. Players may hold a maximum of 10 tokens in their inventory at one time. This limit is shared across all characters on a Battle.net account. And that was sort of blah, 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 blah. You can get 10 of them. You can use 36 every 24 months for game time, so they're totally cool with you just spending gold on game time. I mean, there doesn't seem to be anything like revolutionary, groundbreaking, or upsetting in the least in that particular article. I did want to throw it out there, though, because, you know, hey, it is news-ish. No, there has been a cool little bit of Hearthstone news. We'll get to that in just a second. But the talent and the online and talent contest signups are now closed. So that was the original art contest, the movie contest, and the talent contest. If you don't know about these already, chances are you weren't signing up for them anyway. Now, only speaking to the art contest, but some of the stuff that I've been able to see that has come out, from some of the folks that have submitted things has been absolutely incredible. Amazing, beautiful artwork. I believe it was Fabelina posted something. All the kind of the usual suspects that we know from the Blizzard community art world were posting several of the things that they had been entering. So I, for one, cannot wait to see what's going to be shown at BlizzCon. This community is amazing, and the amount of talent out there in this community is absolutely incredible. So if you didn't get your art contribution in, you will have to wait till 2016. Now, there was big news in Hearthstone, and let's see if we can cue this up. Here we go.
From east to west, heroes are sent, seeking glory in the greatest of events. There are knights on noble steeds, those who will bring them to their knees. There are monsters to test their mettle at every turn. Legends will rise based on their merits. There's even pirates riding parrots. It's the grand tournament.
Now that's right! New Hearthstone Expansion, the Grand Tournament. It's going to include 132 new cards, and it will be going live in August. Now, I am not a huge Hearthstone player myself, although it is something that I've been getting into a little bit more. I would suggest if you are into Hearthstone and you don't already know about them, go check out the Angry Chicken podcast. Great people, they will hook you up with all of your Hearthstone news, tips, tricks, all that fun stuff. So, one more thing that was not actually the Blizzard news, but something neat that came out of the community. YouTube user Daniel L. had released a couple videos. Now, these actually got posted in July, which that is actually now, so, whew. Forgive us, Cuddlès is a little tired this week. These got posted on July 20th and 24th, so earlier this week and then today. So he's taken different parts of the Warcraft world and rendered them in Unreal Engine 4. No, it's a work in progress. It's something that he says he doesn't want Blizzard to make the game look like this. It's something that he's doing for fun, just to kind of show the community what could be done. So I'm going to go ahead and play both of these videos for you guys. For those that are going to be listening on iTunes or Stitcher, there will be links to both of these, as well as the video that you just heard the audio from. The Grand Tournament video, I'll have those all in the show notes, so you can check them out at your leisure. But here, let's go ahead and take a look at Daniel L's reimagining of Westfall. And now, let's take a quick glance at his reimagining of Elwyn Forest. This is actually the freshest update. He had published another version of Elwyn, but this is the update from today. So let's take a look at it. Wow. Just wow. No, Daniel has come out and said that, as I mentioned before, this isn't necessarily what he wants WoW to look like, or reimagining for, hey, WoW, you should look like this. This is much more just kind of a passion project for him, something that he's doing in his free time, playing with Unreal Engine 4. He has said that he's hoping to release all of this for free for VR apps here in the near future. So hopefully that's something that we'll get to see. Maybe be able to fly through some very high def versions of some of our favorite places in WoW. Now, you know, the community has kind of both embraced and lashed out at Daniel for this. It's, you know, this is not a team of folks working on a actual game. This is one guy playing around with Unreal. So for those that are used to kind of rendering and doing things in Unreal, it's not, the videos are not perfect, but it is really neat to kind of see what could be done. Now, the other side of that too is one of the reasons that WoW has been able to remain as popular as it can is it'll run on pretty much anything. If WoW were to come through and reimagine the entire game in Unreal Engine 4, there would be a lot of people who would all of a sudden be unable to play the game. That's definitely one of WoW's biggest things. On good to even low settings, you could take something from 5 years ago and run WoW just fine. It's not a game that you need to have the, you know, 2 of the brand newest graphics cards and 18 processors, and I understand what I'm saying doesn't actually make sense, but I'm saying this to make a point. WoW runs pretty easily on just about anything. My 2011 MacBook Pro runs WoW just fine. Actually on high settings. So it's really a function of what WoW is and what WoW always has been that may prevent it from ever becoming what you just saw. But it's definitely really, really cool to see somebody in the community go and take and make something like this and then share it with all of us. So Daniel L., if you're out there, sir, thank you for doing that. I, for one, absolutely loved watching that. Now, I teased at the beginning of the show that I wanted to talk about loyalty to a raid team. And I really, in my head, this was going to be a big, long conversation with several points, with sub-points, and points under those, and everything would wrap back together, and I'd have this nice, pretty bow, and all these things that I could talk to you about. I'm not going to do it like that. I'm gonna kind of TLDR this for you, because there's really only two things. This is something that I've been struggling with over the last couple weeks, and let me lay this out for you. It's hard to do this without mentioning the team that I'm really talking about, but this is nothing against the team, but one of my raid teams was said to be a certain level. We are this tier of rating. This is what we're going to do. We've gone through some transitions. We've gone through some changes, all for the better. But now we've changed to a casual, fun raid team, and that was not what I was initially looking for when I looked for this raid team. So I was kind of at a crossroads with them. I had to make the decision: do I continue with this raid team as a casual, fun raid team when I already have a casual, fun raid team? Or do I move on and look for a more progression-minded team along the lines of what I had originally found? Well, there's two questions I think that you have to ask yourself if you're thinking about leaving your raid team. And it's quite simply this: do you enjoy playing with your team? Yes or no? And are friendships more important than progression? Yes or no? If the answer to both of those is yes, then you stick with your team. If the answer to either one of those questions is no, then you move on. Move on, find another team. If you're not enjoying raiding with the team, get out of there. Get out. I don't know what your situation is on your realm with your availability of raid teams. If you play Alliance and you're looking for somewhere to raid, come check out CTR on Airy Peak. We, as of right now, have 48 active raid teams. There's probably a home for you somewhere in one of those. If friendships are less important to you than progression, this is a little bit trickier, because I haven't been with the raid team that I was considering leaving for that long. You know, I have not been playing since vanilla, and these are people who, you know, I watched them have it, like, I was in vent with them when their wife went into labor, or, you know, I talked them through a divorce, or, you know, nothing like that. These are people that I've known for, I don't know, 3-4 months, maybe not even that long. But we formed a bond, and for me, those friendships are more important than me saying, oh, hey, look at me, I got ahead of the curve with a bunch of people that I don't really like, that don't care about me, that I log in and raid with these people, I log out and I go about my life. I've formed friendships on both of my raid teams that are people that check in on me, that are people that care about me, that are people that we share things about our lives. And that means more to me than progression. And I think that really is the beauty of an MMO and of a gaming community, like, period. That's it doesn't necessarily have to be what you find out in the world of gaming, but when you do find that, it's something magical. And that's really, I'm like getting emotional about it. This is sad. Oh. If you like your raid team, if those friendships are more important than progression, stick with them. Stick with them. Just because they've gone to casual now doesn't mean that they're not going to ramp it up later. And just because that team that you leave them for is doing whatever progression level you want it to does not mean that they're not going to disband next week and you're going to be led there going, well, what do I do now? So if you have a good solid raid team, if the progression isn't the entire reason that you get on, then stick with your raid team, enjoy them, and enjoy and value the friendships that you've made with them. So shout outs this week. I'd like to say a big hello, hi, howdy to Hearthcast for mentioning me on their show this week. Thank you so much, guys. It was a blast meeting y'all at your last meetup. I'm very much looking forward to being there in just a few weeks for the next one over at Firkin Keglers. If anyone listening is in the Central Florida area, second Friday of every month, Hearthcast does a meetup at Firkin Keglers. If you'd like more details on that, go to meetup.com, search for Orlando WoW Meetup. They have a nice little thing there, tells all about it, and you'll have a blast. I can promise you, and they did warn me before going in, that sometimes they make trade chat look tame. And that's actually very true. Can't wait to get to hang out with their merry band of adventurers very soon. Rubber chickens and bacon and kegs. You guys, we're having so much fun right now. It couldn't be, things could not be going better. I cannot wait to get in and take down Gorefiend. And to each and every one of you that listen to this show every week, thank you. I don't think I shout out my listeners enough. And you guys are why I do this. The positive feedback that I get, the tweets throughout the week, the iTunes reviews. Thank you to each and every one of you for all of that. And that's it for episode 16. If you would like to join our live audience and hang out in our chat room as Silvana has done tonight, please come join us at twitch.tv/thegamecase at 10 p.m. Eastern each and every Thursday evening. Thank you to listening. Words, English, sentences, place them together, and they go talky. Thank you for listening to episode 17 of the Game Case Show. You can find me on Twitter at Mullet863. You can find the show at the Game Case Show. You can download us on iTunes and Stitcher, catch recordings of the live show, or our tips, tricks, and kill videos on youtube.com/thegamecase, or find all the things on the official site of the Game Case Show, thegamecase.com. And with that, folks, Game Case out.
Thank you for joining us this week inside the Game Case. Please join us next week for more news, tips, and ramblings about the World of Warcraft. Game Case out.
World of the Warcraft.